The best thing to do would be to write a story about Michael the unicorn, a good unicorn living in the woods who always tried to do the right thing. But no one saw it that way, due to the overly long spear protruding from his forelock, which was enough to convince all forest dwellers to run the other way. Despite the prevalent fear and disdain lodged against him, shared by all woodland creatures, including chipmunks, flying squirrels, tufted deer, griffins, moose, and red-shouldered hawks, Michael had one true friend in Violet, the fox with locks of fire, his loyal companion. Violet didn't have the same problems as Michael, being she was very popular. Although try as she might, she was helpless to make a positive argument on his behalf. In this case, having popular friends in high places like Violet wasn't as useful as purported to be in human circles. Violet the fox had her own problems, however, as time and again she was hunted for her alluring height of fire. More than once she narrowly escaped the charging riders and hounds, in relentless pursuit of her as she tore through the underbrush, her drained and debilitated body forced to squash itself thin within the shale of an exhausted silica spring. One fortuitous day, as the sun fingered through the variegated redwoods, Violet the firefox met Michael the unicorn, who knew the judgment lodged against him was nothing compared to Violet's problems, and he sought to protect her at risk of his own life, when not one of Violet's friends had mustered the courage. Within an hour or two after the unearthly blare of the horn announced the hunt, Michael would flee with Violet deep into the forest, typically finding himself cornered by snapping and growling hounds, snarling to his face. "What do you mean she's your friend when she belongs to us? This is none of your business, spurned and rebuked, miserable unicorn. Stay out of it." Others in the pack ganged up and agreed, as Violet cowered deep within the trampled clover, while friends and bystanders watched from a distance. But Michael's girth and sturdy horn always prevailed, allowing him to deftly run off with the eternally grateful Violet on his back. Her friends might have respected Michael's bravery if it hadn't been a stark reminder of their own shortcomings, being they weren't the highest of creatures on the planet. One day, Michael the unicorn and Violet the fox were navigating about for a clearing within which to sunbathe, an uncommon encounter in the dense forest, regarded as magically enchanted by those with 8 senses. It was in this place they found Jensen, the blue-skied fox, who contrasted handsomely with Violet, the fox of fire. A perfect match, thought Violet, so smitten as to regard him as her twin flame. But given his fur of blue sky, Jensen must have suffered the pursuits of hunters and hounds like Violet, which complicated Michael's job beyond all hope. Speculating the problem with growing alarm, Michael's spear-sheathed brain worked overtime. How could he outrun the hounds with 2 foxes on his back? Keep the faith, he told himself. Violet the fox was everything to him, and he respected her choice out of all the suitors who declared themselves prior to the blue-skied fox. Like a shining knight, Michael the unicorn, who never thought of himself, now swore to protect both foxes. His only wish was to have more friends, and it appeared he had 2 of them now, provided the blue-skied Jensen would accept him. Michael never once pondered if Violet the fox had made the right choice, a query rightfully up for consideration in light of the numerous human misjudgments in this area, although less typical of animals, who often bond for life. As it so happened, Violet the firefox and blue-skied Jensen were compatible. A fact which became known on the next occasion of the perilous trumpeting horn, when Michael the Unicorn, Violet the Fox, and Blue-skied Jensen were roused from their naps in the clearing. Suddenly the hounds were upon them, and Michael was profoundly helpless to protect both foxes, when in fact the hounds had come prepared with a plan to overcome him. As two hounds with clenched jaws seized his braided spear horn, others snatched Jensen and Violet, and the ferocity of the assault erupted unbounded trauma in the red firefox Violet, followed by an epiphany of ancient memory. Brought to her awareness, she had the gift of fire. She promptly implemented her skill to set the hounds which enslaved her aflame. Blue-skied Jensen, ever aware of his rank in the world, ordered a storm, which drove the hound's jaws from the scruff of his neck and detached them from Michael's braided horn, also serving to quench the blazing fires threatening to melt the underbrush. Blue-skied Jensen, being of a high status, recognized Michael the Unicorn's importance from the start and finally conveyed the facts to the stealthy, majestic Michael, who hadn't a clue. In that instant, Michael reinitiated the desiccated hounds to puppies and the smoke-enshrouded hunters to starseeds, who then became the revered first of their kind, as Michael the Unicorn graciously regarded his kingdom.